Whatever's on your mind, I'm all ears. 800-655-6453. And, boy, we got a lot to cover today. We're learning more details about the horrific shooting of 2 Israeli embassy staffers outside of D.C.'s Capitol Jewish Museum. Officials saying that the suspect literally went back and fired additional rounds into the bodies lying on the ground after they were down. The Department of Homeland Security is eliminating the student visa program for Harvard University due to, quote, pro-terrorist conduct at campus protest. This in response to Harvard's refusal to comply with its request for behavioral records of student visa holders by the Trump administration. So they're going to make an example out of Harvard. And Harvard may be just the first. This may be the beginning of others. A death row inmate in my home state of South Carolina who was convicted of killing his parents says he's ready to drop all legal challenges and be put to death. We'll talk a little about that as well. And White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt declared that the Democrat Party has never been so out of touch as they are now in reference to every single Democrat in the U.S. House of Representatives voted against President Trump's big, beautiful bill this week. In a news conference yesterday, the White House press secretary came out swinging, if you will, and boy, did she take on the no votes. In cut number 1, she said, and I quote, "The Democrat Party has never been more radical and out of touch with the needs of the American people." Here's Caroline Leavitt.
This one big, beautiful bill will implement President Trump's Make America Great Again agenda by delivering the largest tax cut in American history for middle-class families, the working class, and small businesses. The one big, beautiful bill fulfills President Trump's promises of no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, a made-in-America auto tax break, Trump savings accounts for newborn babies, and substantial tax cuts for our amazing seniors' Social Security benefits. The one big, beautiful bill will permanently secure the border by delivering the largest border security investment in history, funding at least 1 million annual removals of illegal aliens to carry out the largest deportation campaign ever, finishing the Trump border wall, and giving pay raises and bonuses for our incredible ICE and Border Patrol agents. The one big, beautiful bill protects the Medicaid program and its benefits for the most vulnerable Americans that the program was designed for by kicking off 1.4 million illegal aliens from receiving benefits and implementing common sense work requirements for able-bodied Americans. The one big, beautiful bill also helps get our fiscal house in order by carrying out the largest deficit reduction in nearly 30 years with $1.6 trillion in mandatory savings. Every single Democrat in the House of Representatives who voted against all of these common sense and massively popular policies, the Democrat Party has never been more radical and out of touch with the needs of the American people. The one big, beautiful bill is the final missing piece toward ushering the golden age of America.
The House of Representatives, of course, voted in the very early morning hour yesterday, 215 to 214, passed by one vote. And some of you are aware, of course, that one of those potential no votes was that of South Carolina Representative Ralph Norman. I spoke with Representative Norman earlier in the week when it was still uncertain as to how he was going to vote. He had voted no initially Friday a week ago, which sent it into the weekend uncertain. He voted present Sunday night when the House leadership wanted to advance the bill on to the full House. He ended up a yes vote after President Trump and the Speaker and others sat down and they kind of talked through the process. Some of the objections that Representative Norman had was, of course, the fact that able-bodied adults can get Medicaid benefits without working. He feels like that they should, if they are able to work, they should be working. Illegals. He does not want illegals being able to benefit from Medicaid. And he had another list. I had a chance. He was on my local show on Newstalk 98.9 WORD, the Voice of the Carolinas, earlier this week. And here's what Representative Norman told me then.
So what did I object to? Well, able-bodied Americans who choose not to work are included in Medicaid payments. Along with the able-bodied Americans, illegals are on the dole to get a government paycheck. I'm sorry, if you're not an American citizen, you do not need to get a federal government check, whether it's Medicaid or any of the other 20 agencies that give away our tax money. I will say this too, Joey, I'm not just so rigid. Let's say if they come up with a compromise. Let's say they want to pay the illegals and the able-bodied Americans for a year. I would look at that. But on the subsidies, it's like opening the dam up on money again that we don't have. That people ought to be, the private sector ought to be doing it. They don't need the government help. And I'm just tired of continuing to say we're fiscally conservative, which we all campaign on, and don't back it up. Yeah. And now's the time to back it up.
That was Representative Ralph Norman earlier this week. Of course, he ended up voting in favor of the big, beautiful bill. But at the time, a lot of people were saying, what's wrong with Ralph Norman? Why is he opposing the president's agenda? Ralph Norman was just fighting for things that he believes he's obligated to ask for because his constituents in the 5th District of South Carolina, they don't want people getting Medicaid benefits when they're able to work. They don't want illegals on Medicaid. And guess what? Representative Norman and others who are asking for these things, it's a process. It was a political process this week. Yes, it looked ugly at times, but they got these things. For example, under the legislation that passed, Medicaid work requirements will go into effect December of 2026, not in January of 2029 like the original bill had. I mean, if it's a given that people, able-bodied adults, should be working in order to get the benefits, if we all agree on that, why wait 3, 4, 5 years? And that's all I think Representative Norman was asking. Well, he got that because come December 31st, 2026, if you're able to work, then you're going to have a job to get those benefits. States are also allowed, under the bill that passed, states are allowed to implement work requirements even sooner if they choose to. They don't have to wait till December of 2026. Again, the work requirements were a result of the holdouts like Ralph Norman, like Chip Roy, who said, we've got to do better. The American people, they're tired of this type of thing. We have to do what's best for the people we represent. 800-655-MIKE, 800-655-6453. It is Free Speech Friday. Whatever's on your mind, I'm all ears. Joey Hudson in for Mike today.
For full shows, live and on demand, it's Salem News Channel.